Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Hudi London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. Today I'd like to go back to the surviving roommates, especially DM, Dylan Mortensen, one of the main surviving roommates who's supposed to be the only witness that saw Koberger, allegedly. The picture I just showed y'all was of an actor who was acting in the Vampire Diaries, Stefan Salvador. The whole Vampire Diaries is mostly about the two brothers, Stefan and Damien Salvadors. And the Salvador brothers have both bushy eyebrows, especially Stefan. And it's quite strange how Stefan looks kind of like Beaky, just in another version. Psychologically, it's interesting to understand people's thought process, and I find it kind of strange that DM gave the description of Stefan Salvador and that she said Vampire Diaries was the last thing she was watching. Stefan tells Caroline to help him because he's trying to stop Bonnie the witch, from running. And then you can hear him clearly. He's sitting on Bonnie and then he's saying, "I'm here to help you." And he's calling Caroline to come and help him. Isn't it strange, interesting, that DM chose that sentence, those words? Ever, there was this girl that went to the same sorority as Kaylee, who lived opposite 1122 King Road, said clearly that Zana was a go-to girl, and she was very good friends with Emily. But she lived 2 years in the same sorority with Kaylee, and I find it strange that she doesn't mention Kaylee much. She said that somebody tried to open her door and the person had on a ski mask. The same thing happened a couple of weeks before the quadruples took place. People noticed somebody knocking the door. A girl said that somebody put on a torch, flashed a torch, and she was sitting on her bed. And she was so scared, she ran to close the door, but the door was closed and the person just left. So this seems to have been going on right before the unalivings. There was many mysterious things taking place.
The door knob, trying to open, and it was locked. And I, at first, was a little freaked out, but then I realized it's Moscow. Moscow's safe. I've never had an issue or a fright or a feeling that Moscow was unsafe. So my initial reaction was, this is just somebody leaving a party. They're probably intoxicated. It was an accident. They might not know where they're going, or they were just trying to come into my apartment and say hi as an old friend. Then it got me started thinking after the incident happened, what if it could have been the defendant himself?
So this could have been any random psychopath that was knocking the sororities and young females' houses and flats. How do we know if it wasn't the same person who entered 1122 King Road and committed the quadruple? You remember the incident of the young girl whose underlinen, her underpants was put in the cup holder in a car, and she called the police to you. So there was a lot of strange things going on. And we've seen the same thing in Washington Pullman. But it still doesn't make sense why DM and BF did not call the cops. And I wanted to talk a bit about the firecracker that Bethany Funk allegedly heard, and she saw a spark. I wonder if that was a distraction for whoever was supposed to come in, that they distracted them from the front door and they came in from the sliding door. Could that be possible? And I've spoken about it many times when Kaylee's mother said in the interview to Olivia in the beginning, she said that she heard that Kaylee got pop-off, she got SHOT in a party. So I wonder if that is true, because when we hear about the sparks, the fire sparks going on in front of the house, in front of the cars, it makes me start wondering if there was any shooting incident going on in this house. It was quite strange. DM says that Murphy is barking sound like it was coming from outside the house. So she was kind of surprised that Murphy was found when the police came. So was Murphy supposed to be inside the house or outside the house is the question. Did somebody lure Murphy out? Is that why Maddie's jacket was found allegedly behind the fire extensioner at Taylor Avenue? There's something here to do with Murphy, I believe. It all has to do with Murphy. Because if Murphy was outside, how did he land inside? If Kaylee was going upstairs with Murphy and she said, there's somebody here, and she ran downstairs, then how did Kaylee end up in Maddie's bed and she didn't end up downstairs? DM clearly said that she heard Kaylee crying in the bathroom. Which bathroom? Third floor, second floor? How come she doesn't talk about the bushy eyebrow guy at once? She didn't mention it in her first 2 interviews. In the interview, like when the police came and they literally spoke to her, she didn't mention it there. She didn't mention it in the second interview in the office that we heard. When is she going to mention it? Is she a reliable witness? Is she a genuine witness? I don't trust DM. DM is GoFundMe is on $1,115,000. What is she going to do with all that money? Do they owe some rug debt, I wonder? This case has gone so viral that I'm sure that DM and all of them will get free counseling. They'll get free medical aid. This goes on Idaho, Moscow, and I'm sure that the students, the victim's family, and the surviving roommates' families are going to be suing Moscow, Idaho. So where is DM taking all this money to, I wonder? This doesn't make sense at all. And I still can't get over the fact that Hunter Johnson and David Berry both said in the Amazon Prime that it was an airy night, that they just felt like closing the doors. I wonder if any threats were passed, because we did hear Showalter threatening Maddie and saying, you know they're going to get you for that, Maddie, in my opinion, allegedly. You can't just threaten someone and something happens to them a couple of hours later. Isn't that strange? I wonder if Eva heard anything that night. She lives right opposite them. There was so much movements, there was so much yelling, there was so much things happening at Taylor Avenue and 1122 King Road. Is Eva trying to tell us that she didn't hear anything? Who was this strange, mysterious man with a ski mask knocking at people's door and running away and flashing torches? What happened at the Sigma Chi fraternity party? Did things turn out to be bad? Were DM and BF there the whole night? Could they be lying? They know exactly what happened. I believe they know exactly what happened because you can even see through the messages they're sending each other. They tell each other. BF said to DM, I thought I saw Xana wearing black. So they saw Xana that night. They saw Ethan that night. And I think Xana and Ethan were tortured. And maybe people were made to see that. Strangely enough, every time there's a party with the fraternities or sororities, or most of the time, something goes terribly wrong. When there was the Delta Tau Del party, Hudson Lindo was found unalived in the frozen creek. When there was this party at the Sigma Chi fraternity, the quadruples took place. I wonder if Caden Young was OD'd in a party time too. There's something up with these fraternities, sororities, their rituals. I believe they're sacrificing people, honestly. It's kind of strange that all the sorority girls from, at least 3 to 4 of the sorority sisters from Kaylee Gongalves' sorority were at the grub truck. They were giving Kaylee and Maddie strange looks and giggling. And we could hear girls at the bandfield, not at the bandfield, at Linda Lane. I wonder if this was personally towards Kaylee. Let's keep in mind that Liz Katovich, Jack Katovich from Sigma Chi's sister, Liz and Molly, her best friend Molly Gray, both paid Venmos, and they labeled it 3:30 a.m. Were these two girls out for Kaylee? Was it Jack D that was out for Kaylee, is my question. Let me know what y'all think. Jack Katovich, his sister Liz Katovich, and Molly should have been investigated, and Saeed, and anyone who had anything to do with the Venmos. Please like, share, and subscribe.